Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices. We'll cover the DAX, the FTSE and the AEX, and with most global markets, including the US, we're looking at this current rally up through here, and we have seen some weakness now in this move here through Asia, the US, and also in the European zone as well. So we need to talk about that a little bit. But first of all, with the DAX here, is that it's got a slightly more complicated count than the US markets. The US markets have got this as the top in here, but with most of the Eurozone, most, not all, that we need to look at it like this here as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. So it's actually possible to also label this an A wave here, a B wave of this degree, and a C wave in here for this wave 4 here, and we could just push straight up from here, moving straight up here. And if that was going to be the case, then we could look at this low here and have this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and 5, and then look for an A and a B and a C wave coming down 50-60%, and then a move up from that point there as well. So that's on the cards, but as the US markets are quite dominant in a lot of over these markets, then we need to look at it also with a US point of view as well, where we're looking all of this here is an A and a B and a C of minute degree for minor wave A, and then a B and a C wave here for the wave 4 over here. So we're in a tricky little situation here at the moment, and there are some simple things that we can also look at as well here, and that would be such as if that top there was breached, we could be long from that point there, but we're also expecting one more new high here as well, and we also want to be able to look to go short here as well. So we're at this number here, which is 12,500, and that's very handy to work with because in a nutshell here, if we've got a high here and we've got a low here, then this will retest that point there, and then that can be our short trigger, and this can be our long trigger. So at the widest point of view, then that's a strategy we can take. We've got the US markets looking like they've got one more little wave up, even though that they appear weak as well. So just on the 4-hour chart here, just to also point out another point here too, is that if we look at this as the A wave here, then the B wave 50 and 60% retracement level is up around the 12,800. So it's also possible for this to have its A wave, its B wave here. It appears that we've got 5 waves in this little section here. In the US markets, it appears that we've only got 3 waves in here. This is a little bit messy in the European markets, I have to say as well, and it's also pulled back 50 or 60% here. So it might be possible to look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here and wave 3 here, wave 4 here and wave 5 moving up into here before this moves down, but we don't see the US markets going that far. So we see the US markets just bringing the S&P 500 in here on the 1-hour chart, looking at this move up here, which is quite clean for the US markets, but not for the European markets. So we're looking at 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves up for 3 here and back for 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave. So we're looking for the 4th wave to pull back to the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level, and then we gravitate over the closest largest number, which is the 50 here. So we don't see, even though it's moved through its reference points here, we haven't seen it retest this level here yet, and that's what we're looking at the moment. So if it does retest it here, so the little move goes up, which is down through here, move backs up through here, and then we can put our short little order under here. So we'll be able to look at something like this here for this, and this is sort of what we need to do on the European markets as well. So moving into this space here, on the 1 hour chart for the DAX here is, yes, we are looking for wave C of B here, and that could be in place here, because I can count 5 waves up here, and I'll just go over that, which is 1 and 2, nice strong third wave here, fourth wave here, and there'll be 5 little waves in here for wave 1, back for wave 2, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then back for 4 and up for 5. So realistically, we could be we could have this in play here. One of the problems with that is that we're at the 61.8% mark here, but we've only really got 3 waves down to this point. It may or may not be finished in here, but yes, we've only got 3 waves in here at this point here. So we'll probably need to look to go long above that point. So you could probably get, even if you got support on the 25 or the 500 here, that you can go along from that point. But anyway, just putting that in there. But also here we need to look at going short here as well, but I'm not saying that the low's in just yet here. There may be another low to come in play, but what we want here is, if that moves straight down here, I'm not suggesting to take that. What we'd want to see is another retest coming into play here first. Let's just have a little look at this. Okay, so this is 100 ticks, and the move down here I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and then a correction pattern here. So I can see this is 1 and 2, yeah, probably 3, all of this, 4 and 5. So this, in a nutshell, this move down, just double checking, this move down through here appears to be in 3 waves, and this can't be wave 4 because it's pulled back too far. So it's really an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here coming down here. And this move down here at this stage is sort of reluctant to come down because this market moved down quite quickly, and then it sort of slowed down and a big bounce, and it moved down here, was quite strong. But these moves down here are getting shorter and shorter, aren't they? So it doesn't want to move down. So it does appear like a corrective pattern. So we should see a move up from this current low in here. So coming back to this 1 hour chart here, yeah, we should see a bounce back up here. So now that's in progress here, we can put that under that low here. Okay, we should see some. So that's about the best I can do here at this stage here, because this could be, these 5 waves here could be just wave 1 here, and then wave 2 back into this space here, and then a move higher from that point. So pretty much, if we get support on 5 here, look to go long in your own way, and if this gets breached down here, look to go short in your own way as well. The AEX, this it's the same but different, and in this case here, it's possible to count this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 up to here, and a back for 4 here and up for here. So we know that this is pretty much the same as the DAX, so we don't need to explore that too much. I've looked on the cash market, and it does count 5 waves from this point here quite nicely up to this point here. So it's also possible for this to be 1 and 2 here, but on this with the futures and the cash tied in here together as a pricing structure, it's better to count this as the way that I've got it here at the moment. So we're kind of up at our target zone here as well, but yeah, it just appears that at this stage here I don't have a clear 5 waves down, so there can certainly be one more move up into these spaces here, but we're certainly sort of there. But look, I guess support on 540, then expect a new high here. So let's just, I think we're also long within here somewhere, but yeah, look, support on 540, and we'll head high from that point there. Don't have enough evidence to be bearish just yet, even though they look bearish. and in the FTSE as well here, it's the same as the DAX as well, in that I can count, well, they are a little bit sort of messy here, and some parts of it I can understand. I mean, we could look at this as wave 1 to here and wave 2 back, and then all of this is the third wave up here, as 5 waves up here for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. No, yeah, it wouldn't work anyway, because this is pulled back to its 50-60% retracement level, and also overlapped, even if it was the top of wave 1 here. So it's definitely not the count. So there must be, in one way or another, 5 waves in that move there. The question is that the top here, or do we look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 coming into here? Because also at this, coming down to the 61.8% mark here, it's like we've got the 3 wave structure in here, so we don't have 5 waves down yet. So we're in a little bit of a dilemma here. So I just really want to wait a session or two here to see what we can do with this. But support on 7.3 you want to be long, and that's the sort of little pattern setup that you're looking for here. And any move down through here, I have to say, is only going to get a bounce back up into here. So we can look to short it if we can count 5 waves from the top down to the bottom here. Then we can look to short it at the 50-60% retracement level from that point there. So we'll get that in here at that time. So I think let's just wait for this to resolve itself and show itself. And we also want to see the US markets do what it needs to do as well to help confirm that there as well. So it's a time just to really observe, unless you see anything in your own way to move into the markets. Alrighty, cheers.